Hey, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 138th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, we're diving deep, guys. We're going to be talking about what peer pressure made you do in life. What are some of the big things that happened, and really only because you felt pressure to do so. So before we go there, it's your favorite time of the day, guys. I mean, this is a pleasure for me, and I know you enjoy it every single time.
Stupendous.
Amazing. I have to start learning languages so I can other languages so that I can kind of bring everyone in like Chinese and Arabic and like the whole kabam.
They can't use their translator app?
True. Maybe I'll do that. That's interesting. Okay, stay tuned, guys. Without further ado, let's get it popping. Now, when it comes to how you're listening to this episode, if you have gone to WokeNFree.com and you've downloaded the episode through the Podbean app, we say thank you. That is amazing. Why? Because A, that's supporting the show. It's given us love and support, and we greatly appreciate it. But also, that's how you're able to actually join the conversation. By downloading the episode on the Podbean app, that's how you can put in your comments, guys. And that's where the conversation really begins. And so if you want to have your thoughts added here, especially around the topic of peer pressure, which I don't know if there's any human being I've ever met in this world who has not either experienced it and or had some relation to this. This is the opportunity for you to share your thoughts and be completely woken free about the subject. Next, if you're like, Tosh, I love you, I adore you, I can't even with you, but I'm not getting that Podbean app. Tiers, just a couple of tiers, but you can redeem yourself. How do you redeem yourself? You make sure that you're following and subscribe to the show on whatever platform you're taking this in. So, for instance, if you're listening to the show on iTunes or on TuneIn or Stitcher or Google Play, YouTube, our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Guys, we're on like 30 plus platforms. Go to WokeNFree.com, go on the Listen tab, and then you can pick your flavor of the week as to how and where you want to listen to the show, but just make sure you're subscribed and following. Now, if you have 90 seconds, and guys, if you are like quarantined like so many of us, you not only have 90 seconds, you might have 90 days. So with that, please use 90 seconds today to go and review the show on any of the platforms you're catching this on. So if it's iTunes, give us some stars, 5 stars, guys, 5 stars. Thank you. And also pick any other platform you listen and catch a show on to review the show. So make sure you're listening, you're subscribed, you're following, but then you're also giving us some reviews. And also, I don't want to miss out on the opportunity to shout us out on social media in the sense of, if you see our posts and there's anything that compels you, again, that's another conversation to have with us. So you can always feel free to engage with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, at WokeNFree. And then, of course, without further ado, if you're listening to this, if you're enjoying this, what's the next thing to do? Literally shout it out the windows. Get the word out. You guys, WokeNFree Nation, you're the best ambassadors we could ever have. So go ahead and spread the news. And with that, scene end.
Good job.
Grazie.
Each week, we'd like to share a little bit about us before we dive into the topic for the episode. Last week, we asked, would you rather adopt a bird or a snake? This week, we are asking, do you prefer crossword puzzles or Sudoku?
Yeah, the tough stuff, right? Like what our maker wants to know about us. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And all the listeners as well.
Exactly.
They wanted to ask this question, so I asked it for them.
So now you're a mind reader.
Not exactly.
Interesting. Okay. So to answer the question and to share with our audience what is my preference or what's my jam would definitely always be a crossword puzzle because I don't understand what Sudoku is. I've seen it. I know people love it. I've just never delved in there. So for anyone who does play Sudoku and is like, Tosh, you're missing out. What are you talking about? Please put that in the comments because I don't understand it. So that can never be my jam. What's your jam?
Mine has to be crossword puzzles because I played that much more than I played Sudoku.
Okay.
Even though I know that's a math game and you have to make all the numbers add up to a certain number in each of the boxes. Or I think you can only use the numbers, each digit only once going across and then in each one of the boxes. There's like a couple of variations on the rule, but it definitely wasn't something I was into. I played it like once literally. But crossword puzzles are funny because I played those a couple of times, but I actually preferred the puzzles where you have to like circle the words that are jumbled within like a box. I forgot what that's called. So not the crosswords, like the black and the white, where it's the black and white box. But I prefer where you have all these letters on a page and then you find stuff. I used to do that as a child.
Love those.
And I have a
those
book.
Are fun. Yeah.
I prefer that to that. But crossword, I definitely would take over Sudoku because I played that a couple times. But I don't play them like consistently. How those people have the papers and then they'll try to figure out all the clues and they'll look to see if they got it for the next week. Nah, I don't do it like that. Nah. They're not that much fun for me. Yeah,
we're really classy. We play within the realm of Uno and Connect 4.
Well, those are different types of games altogether. These are one-player games, so you can't even bring those up. Those are multiplayer games.
I can bring up whatever I want.
You need to bring up single-player games, so another game would be like Solitaire. Did you ever play that on the computer?
No.
Yes, you did. Everyone's played that, see? Now you're like so peer pressure is affecting you right now.
Are you pressuring me to do something?
No, but I think something's pressuring you. Something must be pressuring you.
I'm holding myself back from physical violence.
All right, at least you're doing that, not peer pressure.
Exactly. I'm kidding. I joke.
Oh, okay. There was just jokes, but hopefully you don't joke about this next question.
No, it's quite serious.
Because it would just be nice to know. How do you exactly define peer pressure? Without jokes, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll keep it 100, guys. It's WokeNFree. So, according to Merriam-Webster, it's a feeling that one must do the same things as other people of one's age and social group in order to be liked or respected by them. I personally concur with that definition. I would also add that to me in my life, I would say peer pressure has felt like an external force that makes you internally feel like you're no longer in control of your life or life decisions because you either want to be liked or you're scared of that judgment grind, which is hard. Society's super good at judgment. Also FOMO, fear of missing out. Also, I would say other reasons why peer pressure makes you act a certain way would be kind of this like another type of fear or insecurity that's driving this like gotta do this even though you don't really want to, but you're just moving ahead with that life decision. All right, that's interesting. You're saying it's external forces. Well, yeah, it's pretty much it's causing an internal reaction, but it's really it's still an external. No one's making you do anything. Yeah, that's true. All right, I can see it from that point of view. I also like the Oxford definition. They keep it pretty simple. Okay. They say it's pressure from people of your age or social group to behave like them in order to be liked or accepted. Interesting. So similar to the Merriam-Webster. The only thing it just goes into saying who peers are. It kind of defines who that is. My whole thing, though, I wouldn't limit peer pressure to just like your peers. I think that there are, I don't know if it's a different word that's in play, but I have, even growing up in my family or in my household, I felt like there was pressure for me or expectations for me to behave and do certain things. And so I don't know if you would constitute that as peer pressure, but it was definitely an external force that was deeply heavy and wildly inappropriate. That's like cultural pressure that a lot of people have. Yeah. Like if your family expects you to be some type of professional. Correct. Instead of like a starving artist, that could be a good example. Correct. But I don't know. My Caribbean folks will feel me on that one. Peer pressure. Interesting. I know. I don't know. Family pressure being But I like that you said cultural pressure. Maybe that's the I feel it's a cultural thing. It's not, you can't even say it's older people. It's just like it's a cultural decision that people already have ingrained in their minds that you have to be a certain thing in their mind. True that. That's all you can do. Absolutely. So, we're up to that tough question now. What has peer pressure made you do in your life? And keep it, 100 woken free. All right, this is going to be crazy, but it actually pressured me into creating the earth. All right. You said keep it 100. I thought you said keep it 0. Well... 100. Okay. Yeah, so you want to revisit your answer?
All right. No, but can't you be pressured into creating things though too? It's possible. What I think about when I think about peer pressure is my youth years, because that's when peer pressure had an effect on me. So peer pressure made me bully when I was younger, because even though I was bullied, I was also part of a group, and that's what we used to bully certain people. And so I definitely did that because of peer pressure. And I didn't realize at the time it was bullying, because I was bullied. It's kind of like, you're bullied by a group of people.
Yes.
But then I guess since you're bullied, you go on and bully some other people.
The
people that are even kind of like seen less than you. Like the bullies that picked on us didn't pick on the people that we picked on. So it was that kind of thing. I've done that. And also, like a lot of people in their youth, I used to mess with other people's property that wasn't really good.
You mean like you would take it or hide it or something? Or
not really theft, probably destruction.
Oh, wow. So you were subject to peer pressure then. Yeah, wow.
So yeah, those are things that I did with peer pressure. And those are real things.
Well, another thing, we have to chalk this up to Hollis Queens, right? I mean, just...
No. Well, some of this partially, but some of it took place in Long Island, so I don't know if you can't just go by the one place. Yeah, it was when I was younger, though. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. All right. So nothing as of older. Once
I was a teenager, that was it. Like I stopped doing that stuff. Yeah.
No, I meant like peer pressure. You never felt peer pressure to do anything past once you got into your teenage years?
Let's see, not really, because it was kind of me just wanting to, I would think I did testosterone, like boasting stuff, like, I can do more than you, stuff like that.
Okay.
I can lift more weight than you. I can drink more than you.
Yes.
Stuff like that. I did that, but it wasn't even peer pressure. It was kind of like,
testosterone.
Peer pressure I see is just doing things because other people say, hey, let's do this. Like if somebody puts an idea in your head and you take and run with it, I feel that's peer pressure.
Okay.
Compared to you trying to just go and impress people and they didn't like tell you to do anything. I don't consider that peer pressure.
Okay. That's very honest and very real. So you kept it real. I got to keep it real too. So some of the things in my life that I have felt compelled to do included smoking a cigarette. And I fully smoked the entire cigarette,
man.
But a puff, right? In college, freshman year, before I met you. And, yeah, and that was only because, again, you're sitting in a group of people, and that similar phrase that we talked about of like wanting other people to like you and all of that, you're very insecure.
And what if all your friends are doing that too?
And all your friends
They're all doing it. You don't want to be the outsider.
Yep. So that proceeded to cough and say, no, thank you ever again. But I still even regret that, because you should never feed into the idea of like, I have to do something to be liked by anyone. You have to do what you want to do, and it doesn't matter what other people are thinking. And sadly, I think the youth really struggle with that. It becomes much easier as a concept once you become older.
I think so.
But once you're a kid, like you're as a kid, you're just like, please like me. Like it's so
I think you're very malleable.
Yeah,
that's
so
why.
Moldable. Yeah, it's awful. So there's that. Definitely drinking, right? Drinking.
Peer pressure.
First, I mean,
not just wanting. Well, it's easier, when you're in a drinking kind of a party school.
People, you walk into a room and it's like, here's your red cup. Like it's just like,
when you're being poured it as you walk in.
Yeah, and if you don't drink it, everyone looks at you like you're abhorrent. Like that's just crazy. Like what? So definitely that. Do I take offense to alcohol? No, I don't take offense to it. I mean, currently and we'll talk about this later in upcoming episodes, but I'm currently working on a nutritional journey for myself, thanks to more knowledge about kind of what's going on in my body. And so definitely I'm staying away from it, but I do regret that I didn't necessarily walk into the decision of drinking on my own accord. I definitely felt pressure to do it. And I don't think I would like for that to change in the future. I think you should feel free to like live your life and make your decisions. Diving into relationships, everyone always kind of was like, what do you mean you haven't dated? I didn't start dating, until I was like, what old was I? Like 17 years old. So, didn't do anything up until that point. And that I felt not like hardcore direct peer pressure, but it was just like being ostracized for not being, prolific in that part of my life. And so I felt like I was missing out, but only because of what other people were saying and doing. And that is definitely something that really blew.
Yeah. That should be a reason to get in a relationship.
Yeah. As well as what other girls, I think, listening to women can listen to this, which is sex, right? Like, can women say they've had sex of their own volition and, never felt pressured to jumpstart that conversation? I haven't met a woman like that. I can't say I'm in that pack. I think every woman I know has felt like, do you really want to do this? Not necessarily, but everyone's doing it. And, and shout out to like anyone who watches Ozark, because in the recent season was popping, guys. Shout out to Ozark. There's a scene where a girl's like, I can't, and she's like 14 or 15, something like that. I can't go back to Chicago being a virgin, right? Like, apparently everyone in her crew is just like giving away their virginity, and she's just like determined to give away her virginity. And she says she doesn't care who. And I'm just like, to me, that was like such a trigger of like people being so determined to just like fit in. This need of acceptance is driving people to put their lives in danger, because you can't just sleep with anyone and not risk your life. You don't know what you're doing all the time.
Oh, yeah, technically.
And you could literally be walking into a whole new chapter of your life that you didn't have to start if you had just calmed yourself down. Like, if you just like settle down there. Yeah. Relax, read a book, possibly the Bible. And, get your life a little bit. So there's that.
You can read Harry Potter too.
Absolutely.
There's some good lessons to be learned in there.
Shout out to Les Brown. I just finished his You've Got to Be Hungry book, and it was amazing. And I adore him. I really do. I keep sharing it on social media. He's amazing. Another thing, overeating. But again, I don't know.
That's peer pressure. Wow.
So it's not peer pressure, but I was pressured to me. I had a mother that, we're keeping it 100, right? So I had a mother that used food to heal things that going on in her life. And I was a part of that journey. And so what did that mean? That meant eating more than one type of meal in the day, right? So Hobbit style, guys, breakfast and second breakfast, lunch and second lunch.
Seems like bad habits.
Yes. So I don't know if that's peer pressure, but she wanted like a companion to do that. And we fed each other into, oh, I'm eating this. Oh, you want this? So I don't know what that is, but it's like when an older person is there with you, trying to edge you on or try to support you to do bad things. That was a part of it. And then lastly, so we all can ponder on that. Tell me what you think. Put it in the comments. And then the last thing I would say peer pressure would be like the hating on myself. So what I have found growing up with girls, at least, would be they would get into these, especially if you hang out with like a group, 3-4 girls. There'd be a point where people talk about, like, they dog themselves out, like, oh gosh, I'm so this, I'm so that. And it felt like you had to dog yourself out to be a part of the group. Like, you couldn't be like if someone's talking about their body, you couldn't be like, oh, well, I love my body. Like, because they would look at you and they'd be like, okay, Felicia, like, so it'd be like, oh man, I hate my thighs too. And oh, I hate my nose. Oh, I hate my skin. Like, all these things. And so I feel like I was definitely, happy to talk horribleness and speak limitation over my body and over myself, because that's what the crew was doing. That's what the group of people that I was around was doing. And so thankfully, I no longer am subject to that, because yes, we've grown up. You get control of your emotions. You get to understand, wow, some people are just not straight, sharing and talking about madness.
Does peer pressure still play a role in your life, and how do you actually deal with it?
So thankfully, I would say not really as much. It was definitely more prevalent when I was a child. It definitely hasn't really deeply affected me as an adult, because I've pretty much eliminated 99% of the negative folks and the negative triggers in my life. Hello, Arizona. Goodbye, New York. Whenever I'm dealing with a situation that was peer pressure in nature, either in my career or personal life, I try to go through a series of questions in my head and answer them, right? So do I really want to do this? Real talk, yes or no, right? There's no gray here, yes or no. If I do want to do this, or if I do this, I don't know if I want to do it or not. At the point, will I regret this, right? And I don't like living with regret. I think it's like living with poison inside. So I really try to just like stick to my guns, make a decision and live by that. Not really be like, oh, maybe I could, and then really regret the decision. I don't like that. And then lastly, what is the consequence of doing this? So I think that as an adult, I think the biggest thing about being an adult is that you are widely conscious and aware of what consequences are in a way that children are not. And so if you constantly think about the consequence of your action, it helps to curtail the type of behavior you put out in this world. So those are some of the questions I ask myself, go through, answer them. But yeah, primarily, no, I'm okay disappointing people in saying like, no, I don't. If this is something that is offensive to me morally or professionally or spiritually, I'm okay with that, because at the end of the day, I have to live in this body. I have to live in this life. So I have to make choices that I professionally and personally can adhere to. And someone might want me to do something, but if I don't agree with it, and I have a really high moral standard, I know that about myself, but at the end of the day, you got to be you. And so I like being my Virgo self and just being like, nope, that is not virtuous. I am not doing that. You better read the Bible.
Hey there. Do you have a book that you want to share with the WokeNFree Nation? Are you a business owner looking to share your product or service with the podcasting world? Well, guess what? You can book an ad with us on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. We're super excited to speak with you about curating a unique ad that will get your message across the WokeNFree platform. So go to the Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That is WokenFree.com, because WokeNFree is more than a podcast. It's a way of life and offers an innovative way to promote your platform in the exploding podcasting space.
My answer is definitely no. I don't do things because of pressure anymore.
Nice.
I actually think people might hate it, but I think it's kind of age-based. As you get older, older people usually get set in their ways. So I think it's easier to not be like, oh, I don't know how I feel. It's kind of like, I understand what I like. I understand what consequences are. Yeah. So keeping those things in mind, it's a little bit easier to make decisions compared to when you're younger. You kind of don't know what you're supposed to be doing, or you may even not know how the best way to spend your time is. So it's a lot easier when you're older not to be pressured to do things because you have responsibilities. So it's like, do I even have time to do that, or should I actually be focusing on getting some of my other to-do list things accomplished? So that's what I think makes it easier, is when you're older, you have more responsibilities and less time to deal with the pressures of outside influences.
I like
That's what I think.
Nice.
Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Woohoo! Scenario 1. Priya is on a famous picture platform since its inception. She has steadily gained a large, active following that allows her to make sponsored posts. Recently, she has seen lots of influencers tout about their weight loss journey and in turn gain bucket loads of followers. Should she copy the other influencers in order to increase her following, or ignore the pressures of her timeline?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. So I do have one question for you. Is Priya comfortable with her body and her body weight? She is comfortable.
Yeah, she never even thought about it as a
I
thing.
just wanted that context to help me to kind of frame my answer. Oh, okay. So if she's really comfortable with her body and her body weight, then I don't even understand why she would feel pressure to go this way of trying to follow influencers who are talking about weight loss, because typically you go down a weight loss journey if you feel like you have weight to lose. If you don't feel that way, then I don't think you're deeply compelled to be like, oh my gosh, unless you have body dysmorphia, some image of yourself that's skewed. But if she's cool and she's like, listen, I'm the Beyonce of my life, then no, you should do you. And if you're looking to grow your following, if you're looking to increase your branding, then you should be authentic to your brand. And what are things that you feel that you can double down on? What are new platforms, other than this picture platform? We know what you're talking about here, Khalil.
Oh, really? There's a lot of picture platforms. There's actually a couple.
Word.
I didn't say how big the platform is. That's all I said. I just said it's a famous picture platform. It's famous.
Word.
That's all I can say.
Excellente. So I would encourage her to be her authentic self and to double down on ways that she can innovate within her own branding and do collaborations, but don't go down a path that is not meant for her, in the way that, like, if she doesn't want to lose weight, doesn't need to lose weight, then do you. Don't do something just because you see it's working for other people.
That's a good point that you make. Mm-hmm. To try to do this thing just because it works for other people. That's going to just apply to you like a blanket. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's a really important question because I think a lot of people are struggling with authenticity online, especially
they want to copy.
Media.
They say if someone else is successful, let me copy what they're doing because that must be right because more people are following them. So let me try it too, even if it doesn't apply to me. And it's like it has no relation to my platform, but I'll try it anyway. It's working. I mean, that's part of the herd mentality, and humans are likely to do that. We see something happening, and if a lot of people do it, in our minds it says, oh, it must be right? Because how come so many people are doing? Can that many people be wrong? Yes, that many people can be wrong. So that's not, just because it's the majority doesn't mean it's correct. That's what you got to remember in life.
Yes.
It's not, even though we like to use that as a decision. Yeah, like that it must be right because everyone's doing it. That's not actually true. You got to still make a logical decision, informed decision. Don't just jump on the bandwagon.
Correct.
Now, I think she should actually just ignore the pressures, like I was saying, because it's a bandwagon mentality. Just you can ignore it. There's you gave good options, like try some other things if you want to gain followers.
No.
Don't use what worked for somebody else because it's not like a one-size-fit-all solution.
Absolutely. And it's also really dangerous, right? So guys, our health is our wealth. Right? Because if you don't take care of your body, then you're not going to be here to do anything. So you really want to be careful, especially on that weight loss tip. Careful. Because if you don't need to lose weight and you start to lose weight, you start to endanger your body and put yourself in danger for no apparent reason. And then people will start, again, that judgment, like, oh, why did she do that? Right? Because imagine she died from like doing some type of, crazy weight loss plan. And they're like, that's so ridiculous. Why would she do that? And it's like, oh, was it so ridiculous because you were liking and hearting and saying how cute she looked when you saw them ribs looking through, right? Like, so people won't save you. You have to save yourself. And that's why it's really important to always be mindful of the consequences of your actions you're taking.
Agreed.
Word.
Scenario 2. Janisha has a group of friends that used to hang out every weekend at lounges or the club. Because of the shelter-in-place orders, they wanted to do something none of them have tried before. One of the friends suggested they each try a new drug on their first upcoming video party. Should Janisha buy some new drugs because her friends suggested it, or tell her friends that it is a terrible idea?
Hello. So this is based in a similar world, a fictional world where they're in there's a crisis going on. They have to stay in their home. So if that's the case, where are people buying drugs?
Well, there's still online facilities to get that from. Now it's a cliche. They say it so much, but technically the dark web. It's cliche now at this point. But there's also, I don't know, there's probably still some street pharmacists that are in business. So let's keep it real.
They're like breaking state law to do that.
Well, they don't have to. They can drop it out their window.
Smart.
They say leave the cash in my mailbox, and then I'll drop this out the window
so the
on
honor
the porch.
System, nice.
Well, yeah, they have to honor but that's how it all, like, the dealer has to get the cash first, or, someone has to honor someone. It's just that now you're not face to face, so yeah, they could just run off.
So they could still social distance. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can still social distance while doing it. I'm not trying to give people like ways how to do it. I don't want to go into all that.
We do not adhere to drug use on the WokeNFree platform at all.
I'm just saying it's definitely possible to do besides ordering drugs illegally.
Well, listen, you bring up interesting points because I've been deeply concerned about sex workers and what's been going on with them. No one's talking about sex workers through COVID-19. I'm just like, guys, why are we not talking about them? They count, they matter, their lives matter. So, but that begs the question, are drug dealers out in these streets? Popping, sharing pills and, it's interesting. It's very interesting what's going on in our world right now. This is a fascinating question too. Wow. So first, my advice to Janisha is her name, right? Janisha.
Yes. Yep, that's her name. You got it right.
Wonderful.
Nice.
I would advise you to not buy drugs that you are not interested in buying, nor needing, nor having an actual authorized manner of getting. As well as these quote unquote friends of yours are not quite your friends, but these are people that are encouraging illegal activity. So I wouldn't even call them friends.
It was only one friend that suggested it. Wasn't the group.
Okay. So, but if no one else piped up and said that's a horrible idea.
Neither did she though at the point.
So they were all complicit in weird behaviors and weird decision making. So I would say she should not join that Zoom chat or whatever where they're going to go get drugged up on. And I'm
not promoting one video platform over the other.
Word.
That's what I'll say.
My bad. Whatever video platform of choice
Yes.
that they decide to use, I would not join that setting, and I would probably say try to social distance and electronically distance from this group of people, because I don't know if these people are serving her needs in her, because that's weird.
But she's not serving their needs either. That seems unfair for her to
but that's
drop
what I'm saying.
out.
So there's one person who wants to do drugs, and everyone else are just like punking out, and they're not.
Why can't they just team up and boot that other person out?
But why didn't anyone say anything then? Right? So it's
because they were so shocked. Probably. There's
it's
a lot
not
of
that
reasons.
shocking. She didn't say she wanted to become a unicorn or something.
That's not shocking. Someone saying if you never did that on your outings, and then someone randomly saying,
I don't think it's shocking. I think it's deeply disappointing. I just think it's just like you have.
But maybe they were so disappointed they were at a loss of words.
You were all just at a loss of words. You're okay.
Not everybody's a Shakespeare.
I can't even with you right now. I can't even. Hello. Okay. Okay, sir. So either way, this Shakespeare play has come to an end, and there needs to be a new act in her life, and this new act would be to abandon this crew of delinquents.
Wow, that's your final answer.
Yes, I have a hard pass on illegal drug use. It's not going to help you.
These
it's
longtime
dangerous.
friends, they're booted out just because one friend talked about an illegal activity.
And because no one else stood up and they knew it was wrong, and they just were completely, their words were without that. They couldn't. Okay, well, what's your advice, sir?
Man, that's like a real Virgo answer.
Yeah, you know me. Right? It's all the way virtuous or none at all.
A summary from the website.
Now, this is what I think, and this is being the responsible human presenting, what is it? Homo sapien. This is what the Homo sapien
human
should do.
Presenting?
Yeah.
All right, player. I see.
All right. No, I'm just trying to put it out there as a good to do.
You're implying that you're not human, but you're human presenting.
No, really though. No, but it's definitely all right. This Janisha is definitely a woman, but what I'm trying to imply by using those words is saying that it is the responsibility of any good human to tell the friends that it's a bad idea, because they might not understand that doing that is illegal and it's not going to help them out in their life. I think she should actually take the high ground and talk to them. She needs to tell them what's up and then give them the chance to see the errors of their ways. And if they don't see it and they think you're just like a fool, you don't want to try cool things, then you could say, hey, I'm out of here, guys. I can never video chat with you because video chat's not even cool. I like to see people in person. So I'm not going to even do video chatting. Not
during COVID-19.
No, not. Well, I'll wait till everything passes with the shelter in place. But
2020
during the shelter in place, I'm not going to deal with you guys. I got to see you in person because this is you act crazy on the video.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying that she can't engage in that kind of conversation, but my whole thing is if I called someone a friend and they had the nerve to tell me that like we should just try new drugs on camera.
One friend,
that person, I have made a really poor judgment in who I define as a friend.
That's not fair because that person could be going like insane from being alone for so long.
To the point where they now think that procuring drugs
is not so far-fetched when you think about it, though. Really think about it. Really think about it. If you think about it critically, think about somebody who's alone and single and they have 30 cats. What else are they going to do?
Okay, sir, the judgment.
No, it's not judging. I'm just saying, what would happen, though? What would happen in that case? I don't know.
I don't know that someone like that.
I don't know what would happen. I'm just saying it's a postulation.
Whatever. You can go down that route. That's totally fine.
So you think it's okay to just let the friends go, knowing and maybe even
you're welcome.
Because you know what, I'd want to at least stop them.
You're always welcome to. Well, I'm not.
I'd want to stop them from doing.
I'd want to share
a bad
advice,
mistake.
and they are welcome to make whatever decision they want to as adults. Remember, no one can save anyone. Everyone has to save themselves.
That's true. You can just give them the right direction.
I'm not opposed to having a real conversation saying,
good.
hey, this is really messed up and jacked up that you suggested this.
Because you sound like you were just going to ghost them and not even show up for the video chat.
Listen,
you're going to be like, God. They're like texting you. They text you 30 texts. Then they send you some nice choice words. And you're like, oh, okay. You still ignore them. And then Then you like some of their posts because they had a cute outfit on. You're like, yep, like that post, but not saying anything to you.
Oh, no.
That's how you made it seem.
No. I do believe in confronting people. I do believe in confronting things in life. What I'm saying is I'm not going to be put in a position where I have to defend a life not abusing drugs to someone. That's what I was going to say. I'm not going to be like trying to convince you to be sober is like,
no,
okay.
not to
like,
be sober.
My whole thing is
Make
like,
better
if someone said that
choices.
to me, I would be like, that is not something I'm down with, nor is that something that I endorse, nor is that something I would be in any way affiliated with. Just putting it out there. If you continue to discuss this and or do this in any event or any situation involving me, I can no longer speak with you and or entertain any environment, circumstance with you.
You would address
Hallelujah.
it. You would address it head on, but there's
Yes.
a lot of people that would have let it go and had to like sit on it and
Oh,
let
no.
let everything
It's
permeate.
illegal activity. What are you saying? It's illegal activity now.
They don't know if she was just, maybe it was a code word for like playing with a rubber ducky.
Like I said, I
don't know.
I would, okay.
What if they said that? That's what it means.
I just think that
I
I
don't
would
know.
have made a really poor judgment in what I define as a friend and not a friend.
And you know what? Some people get confused. Some people say vitamins are drugs, so it could have been that kind of thing.
You're bugging.
I could try vitamin C. You could try vitamin D.
You're bugging.
It could be. Oh, because guess what? Technically, if we go very technical, aren't vitamins a form of drugs? I mean, they are. We didn't explicitly say.
You really want to go down this yellow?
No, but all
road?
I'm saying is that you got to get clarity, right? So at least clarify it. We will not
Like
do
I
illegal
said,
drugs.
I would happily be like, hold up, sister.
But you should have waited. You missed that point. If you missed the point, then you wouldn't come back and still tell them their business. You would just ghost them.
No. What I'm
So
saying
if you
is,
missed this point and didn't like in this scenario, she didn't address it initially. Would you still go back and tell the friends their business? Like, that
oh,
it's
I would
bad?
send a group email or a group chat saying I am absolutely not participating in any event that involves illegal drug use.
You're gonna send a don't rush video of you doing that.
And I would proceed to share links of the danger of doing drugs.
Okay. You're gonna send it. They're gonna get the
And
point
if you
across.
decide to continue to
No drugs.
address
That's what you're
this
gonna say.
matter in my presence, verbally, in person, and or online, we no longer need to communicate. Because obviously we're making different life choices, and I just can't. Khalil, I can't be a part of this madness. I can't. I'm trying to be on a mission of like
Why can't-
just spiritual empowerment
You
and,
can bring
and
other
empowering
people
and
into
I
the
just,
spiritual light with you. That's the whole point. Bring them with
Without
you.
the Molly,
These
though,
were your
without
friends.
it.
You can tell them to leave the drugs behind. You don't need the good drugs.
The
You don't
good
need
drugs.
that.
The good drugs.
You don't need that stuff. You don't. You don't have to rely on it. That's like
You know,
such
many people
a
who
crutch.
are asking me, "Wow, you have so much energy," and I'm like, "Yeah, natural high, right? Like life is about just being fully present and being in it, and you don't need drugs to supplement it. You have supplements, you have medication, prescribed medication, but illegal drugs. No. We're gonna have
illegally
problems.
prescribed drugs too.
Yes, no.
Just because it's
We have a
prescribed
big problem
don't
in this
mean
country.
anything.
We have a big problem.
Yeah, be
in this
careful
country.
because even prescription drugs can
Yeah,
often
careful.
No, you took
Les
extra.
Brown
you didn't
talked
need it.
about how, I
Just
didn't
'cause
even
you're
know he was
prescribed it.
addicted to pain medication and had to deal with that, and his family had to confront him about that. So,
Wow.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's interesting.
Great book, guys.
Scenario 3. VJ was talking with Ruth, his boss, about the company's future, and she told him the company released a prospectus with a lower forecast next week. Ruth said, "I don't know about you, but I'm selling off all my stock and investing in gold, like any reasonable person would do." Should VJ take Ruth's advice, since no one else knows about this conversation, or should he disregard everything he heard and wait for the prospectus to release to the public next week?
This is really fascinating, too, because this is kind of combining what happened with our governmental officials. And, and like, what's her name?
Oh, you're going to talk about Martha Stewart?
Yes, and like a Martha Stewart situation.
Oh, yeah,
like,
definitely.
Very fascinating. Okay. So, ooh, ouchie. Because he doesn't have enough information, I don't know if it makes sense to just act upon this rumor, but it's not validated. He doesn't have any, it's a he, right? Yeah.
VJ, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have any, concrete information to decide whether he should be selling or not, right? you know more than ever, stocks is kind of a long game. It's like there's a lot of factors that go into buying and selling and, you know, all of that stuff. So I just think he might need to wait before moving forward. And I don't know about that gold market if it's as popping as prescribed in this scenario.
But do you want gold or you want monopoly money? That's what we always ask.
I think as you mentioned, you know, this monopoly money is real popping here.
Yeah.
So
that's what's good about it.
Printed it like it's about to be it.
That's what I love about money. If you don't have enough, you just print more.
Amazing.
That's amazing. Gold, you know, I can't just make gold.
Yeah.
I can't make gold. I can't.
Well, you have synthetic gold, right?
No, not really. Gold is gold.
Oh,
it's a precious metal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not like diamonds. Even diamonds are so not valuable. They're valuable in the human's eye, but we can all make those diamonds. It's not anything crazy. It's perceived value. It really is. Diamonds.
Like breaking hearts right now.
Yeah, all the diamonds, fake diamonds are worth just as much as real diamonds.
Cool. I can't wait to get a link.
Get your lab created. Yeah, get your lab or simulated diamonds.
I think they look fabulous. Yeah,
they actually do. They're more perfect than any diamond ever created because they're human processed.
We got to do an episode on that. Why are you buying diamonds?
It's perceived value, but gold actually does have a value because there's no synthetic gold. It really is gold, so that's something to think about.
Well, there's plated, right? There's that golden.
It still has gold in it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Even in gold plating.
Yeah, that's using, but it's very small amount. That's why I can
trace them.
You can get it off. Yeah, you can take it off, but actual gold is gold. It's a good
thing
value.
Oh,
same thing as silver. It's still a precious metal. You can't just make it. Copper.
Interesting. Okay.
Copper's great. There's a couple of things going on.
Before you
compared
continue
to money.
on in this interesting
let's not get off on a tangent.
What's his name? What?
VJ.
There you go.
You know, you've met a VJ. I mean,
go ahead. What should he do?
What he should do is he should probably not try to participate in insider trading unless he likes to see the back of a jail cell. If he's into jail, you know, go on and do stuff.
Are you into jail?
Yeah, you know, I'm not going to judge because it's 3 square meal a day.
3 square meals?
Yeah, you get 3 square meals a day. No, there's certain luxuries that you get that actually.
Excuse me?
You know why? But guess why? It might be funny, but think about it. How many people, I mean, it's messed up, but how many people were on the food lines waiting for food from the food bank?
I'm not even talking to you right now.
I know, but it's messed up. Isn't that messed up though? But if you're in jail, you're guaranteed to get the meal. But if you're not, you have to wait hours and hope for a meal. Isn't that kind of nuts how this world is?
Khalil.
It's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in.
Khalil,
it really is.
So you're suggesting if he's into prison,
he might be. You know. But you know what? And guess what? This is
they accepting more people?
No, this is what I like about life, though. This is why life is so crazy. There was, in fact, a guy who wanted to go back to jail.
Excuse me?
And there may have been multiple, but there was a story about a guy who said, "Yeah, I got out of jail, but I didn't like it outside, so I committed a crime so I could be put back in." So that's what I'm saying. It's not so far-fetched. There was a story about that. I know, isn't that crazy?
No, my spirit can't take that today. No.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but actually, yes.
Absolutely not.
See how life is stranger
but
than fiction?
Overall, you would recommend he adhere to
I would say don't break the law, because why do you want to have a record anyway? That's going to mess you up for whatever job you're doing now. Like, why would you do that? Why would you risk everything?
See, having a high moral standard and compass for yourself keeps you out of trouble. It's so important. I don't know why people like to be so like illegal and illicit.
Well, because they're taking a gamble. It's all about not getting caught.
But it feels good to do the right thing, though.
People
it feels so good.
Because that's the problem. If somebody says you can do this and never be caught, but it's actually wrong to do,
did no one watch The Devil's Advocate? Did no one see this movie? Keanu Reeves.
What if there was no repercussions either way?
I would do the good thing because it feels good to do the good thing. I don't do the good thing because I'm afraid. I don't want to have the bad consequence. I do the good thing because it feels good to be good. It's a good thing. The world becomes a better place if we all continue to do good and push good into the world. The more bad we do, the worse the world is. I don't understand. We're all tethered together, right? And so one world, one race, it's problematic, guys, if we can't wrap our minds around just doing good just for good.
I'll just say, I think people need to play fair. I don't like cheaters,
cheaters never prosper.
In this, he's definitely cheating the system. It's kind of messed up. Nobody else has this.
And she could be an insider. She could be a federal. What's that when they're
his bosses. she's trying to do entrapment and get
Or
arrested
something
herself.
like-
I mean, that's illegal
No,
now,
but what
right?
if she was like working with the federal government or something? Like, and she was trying to like
Try to
there was a
catch some of
sting.
her employees?
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
maybe there was like
dang.
an you know what I mean?
This boss
like,
is grimy. I mean, that would
real
be...
catching people lovely. Like,
Yeah, she would be a really
so
rough
that's why you have to
boss,
be
but-
careful. Sometimes people give you information and they're like trying to see and test you. Don't we know someone
Wow.
who that
Yeah.
happened to in their life? Right? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
not
that's
cool
just crazy.
beans. Just say, Ruth,
That's so
I'm
underhanded.
going to go to the bathroom and leave the area.
You can't say,
immediately.
you can't just be like, cool story, bro. You can't say that to her.
Stop! Come at me, bro.
No, why would you say that? She just gave you good information. I mean, then she would not know who you are.
I would
Like,
again.
come on.
This is where these are proper moments to learn other
Yeah.
languages and just say something in German.
Bienvenidos?
Oh, good lord!
Oh, Gutenheim.
Yes, guten Tag.
Whatever that means.
Dos
Yeah.
vidania.
Oh, all right, we
And just
speak
walk
Russian.
away. Yeah. Just adios, compadre.
But I mean, he could even just say interesting information, and then he could walk away.
I would act like
it doesn't
I
mean
didn't hear it.
anything.
Yeah, I didn't
Or it
know
could be
anything.
like, I'm entering a tunnel. We're breaking up.
I know.
If you're on the phone, but if you're in person and you do that, you might not have a
wait
job.
a minute. I think my wife is calling me. Hold on.
And then she sees your phone, but you left your phone on the desk there. No, they have these new ear pods. You can't even see them
I know,
anymore.
the invisible phones.
And it actually doesn't even ring your phone when the phone call
I mean, you
comes
can be
through.
totally. Wait, I think my imaginary friend has a question for me.
Even better. She'd be like, oh, you still want this job. Okay. Nice to know. Nice to know you still would like employment. That's what you would say to them next. So that's very interesting.
Your imaginary friend wants you to keep it moving because it is that time again. It is coming to the end of our 138th episode of Woke and Free. Quite the episode discussing what did peer pressure make you do in life. This was real, this was raw, and this was a judgment-free conversation. So, if you too feel the want and the desire to share how peer pressure has maybe helped you and or hurt you, feel free to add that in the comments. Again, what do you have to do? Go to WokeNFree.com, download the Podbean app so you can put in your comments and we can support you and share, our thoughts based on what you say to us, guys. We're here to have a conversation. And will we leave you hanging for what our next episode will be about? Drum roll, please.
On our next episode, we'll be doing another special Woke and Free story time called Ranting Truth. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for Woke and Free Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you'd like to be a guest on the show, submit a topic for an upcoming episode, or share how you feel on our Contact Us page, guys, at WokeNFree.com. That is WokenFree.com. When it comes to social media, you can always feel free to hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest. Our Pinterest is popping, guys, so definitely get on there. When it comes to if you have a business, if you have a book, if you have a service, now more than ever is the time to be exploring new advertising methods because people are home. They can listen to a podcast. They can check out the internet. There are literally people who will not stop looking at the internet all day long, and you know who you are. That's not without judgment. That's not with judgment. I'm just saying that some people are doing that. Okay, so now more than ever is the time to expand your digital advertising, and we welcome the opportunity to create a curated ad for you on WokenFree.com. So if you're like, Tosh, what do you mean? I want to talk about it. Let's do it. All right, hit us up on our Contact Us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for Woke and Free Wednesdays. Remember, Woke and Free is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Until next time.
Do good, y'all.